You'll have to do a before and after because that square is about to completely change.
Like you're going to take steps in the right direction and it can make a big impact and it can change your life.
Get the real estate next to it. Your jaw will drop and you'll think, I should have bought this.
$100K to invest in real estate. Where's going to return the biggest amount if it hits? From South Bend to Evansville and everywhere in between, this is Get In, the show focused on the Hoosier State and the incredible stories happening here today. I'm Nate Spengel, founder of Get Indiana, and I will be your host for today's conversation. Before we get into the show, I need to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by my friends at NCW. You might remember when I had Dan Mattingly on the show talking about how they built a national staffing and recruiting company over the past 25 years, specializing in skilled trades. They are looking for new members to join their team. If you're looking for work in recruiting, sales, or general business operations, you need to check out teamncw.com. Not only have they been voted a top workplace by Indy Star, listed on the IBJ Fast 25, and featured on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest private growing companies in America, but I also have a personal laundry list of friends that work at NCW and absolutely love it. To learn more and check out their open roles, check out teamncw.com and tell them you heard about it on Get In during your interview. Today I'm joined by Max Moore and Tyler Lingle, co-founders of Roots Realty Co, a real estate company based right here in Indianapolis. Now, Max is a driven real estate agent turned social media creator known for helping first-time buyers get in the game. After launching his career as a GNC franchise owner, Max leads a top-performing team at Roots that's closed over 125 deals in the past year alone. Holy smokes. Tyler is a former Teach for America core member and a history teacher. We might talk about that a little bit. Since then, he has closed more than 150 transactions and now focuses on helping clients build wealth with intention. Today, we're going to be talking about the journey of Roots, how you guys ended up going from teacher and GNC supplement seller to real estate owners, talking about how Indiana was ranked one of the hottest markets across the country. And listen till the end, we're gonna be talking about a special spot in both of these guys' hearts that's hot on the real estate market and that you need to know about. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nate. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having us. I feel like I'm driving in my car on my morning commute.
No, look at it. They know what to say. They like butter me up early on in the show. Guys, I'm excited for this one. We have been friends for a long time now. I mean, Tyler, probably like several years at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the Run Club you commented on a LinkedIn post. I was starting a podcast. It was essentially supposed to be like the first version of this, like interviewing top entrepreneurs and founders. You were my first guest.
Dude, yeah. I forgot.
How you built this indie.
How you built this indie?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not honestly around anymore.
Some of my friends still say that was the best interview I'd ever did. Because we met at the Union 525 building. That was like where you were hosting it at the time.
Yep.
And then Tyler and I started like battle back and forth about what coffee shop was better. He's a Hubbard and Craven's guy. I was a Java House guy, like back and forth there.
So he's the new age. I'm the old age OG.
But, and you were also putting out some content, and I was like, dude, if I could, I just got to get more followers than Tyler. Like I'm a competitive guy. I was like, I just got to go get more followers. And then
I just had one reel that went off. Literally, people hated it. It was like top 5 restaurants, and I just named like the most weird. Ones.
Hey,
like,
dude, that's one thing. People will comment. But you and Max have known each other for even longer than that. You guys have been working together for how long now?
Going on 3 years.
3 years. Okay, Max, you have an interesting story. When I heard about the guy who bought a GNC franchise from his boss out in Avon, Plainfield?
It's in Plainfield.
In Plainfield? Like that was your your first job?
Yeah, it was my first job in high school working at GNC, and 4 years in, purchased a store.
Like go from high schooler to purchasing your boss's store. Yeah. Like what was the thought of like, you know what, I want to buy a GNC?
I was commuting into work and listened to this Bigger Pockets episode that was talking about buying a 6-figure income. The host on the show, or the guest, was saying that they went in and were able to buy all these franchises, go restructure the operations, boost it up, and exit. And I was sitting there like, wait, I've kind of done this for this guy. Like I'm running these stores, I'm doing the show, I'm doing all of it, paying everybody, ordering. Like I could do it on my own. So I went in, asked for a raise to 100K or to purchase a store. And he's like, well, I can't pay you 100K. You know that. You do my books. And I was like, let's get the PA together.
But how old were you at the time?
19.
How does a 19-year-old afford a GNC location?
Everything's based on the business and revenue, which I did not know at the time offering because it's just an SBA loan. So long as you can prove that the business is going to make and has been and historically will continue to make, they're willing to lend. The GNC of it all was the hardest part because they have these like rigorous, have to have 400K in liquidity and all these different things. So I had to find some co-signers there. And then based on experience and just revenue growth in the 2 franchises, GNC waived it. And we're like, yeah, we're good with it. You can go through, because it wasn't like a full underwriting process. It was more relational. So they just relationally were like, yeah, this is our guy and he's going to take it to the moon. And I bought the store and then started Roots 4 months later.
Excellent.
We're
right?
still
There you
wondering
go.
why you did that.
Yeah. Well, I guess like one of the big things when it comes to Roots is knowing about, building wealth through real estate. Knowing what you know now, had you been driving, would you have still bought a GNC location? Or if there's a 19-year-old out there listening, is there a better way for them to build wealth, have this 100K job?
Roots wouldn't exist today if I didn't buy GNC.
Ooh, wait, why do you say that?
I wouldn't know the administrative business side of it all. Like Tyler can attest, our LLC exists for a reason. Our bank account exists for a reason. I would have messed everything up for Roots, which is a partnership, right? And getting it all, the founding docs and the important pieces together. I wouldn't have known how to do that. And I kind of failed forward with GNC and learned along the way by making a ton of mistakes. So when I met Tyler, I could speak with authority. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to get in. This is how we're going to go after it. If I could go back, the only pivot I would have done is leverage the relationship with my boss and done some like sweat equity type of seller finance, as opposed to going straight for the SBA, not knowing that rates were going to go where they go.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that sometimes sellers of anything are willing to, carry financing, give you terms, and you're kind of just like scared to ask at the beginning, or like don't even know to ask. Like what would you say, whether it's buying property or buying businesses, like what are a few questions or common misconceptions that people miss?
In the land of like how to get more from the seller?
Well, a lot of times people are like, I'm not sitting on 100K in cash. Like I can't buy a business.
Right.
Everyone says buy a house. Like right now, people that are, 25, 30 years old are like, I can't afford a house. Like I'm not sitting on 20% down. But are there like ways of like, oh, these are kind of misconceptions?
Yeah, I can hit on that. So I bought an Airbnb in 2024 with 15K and the home was about 300K. And so if you do the math on 20%, that's like 50K or something. I could be totally off, but we don't do public math on the pod.
You put 3 to 3.5% down.
Yeah. And it wasn't through like an FHA or first time home buyer. It was actually through, the seller had the idea. So I'm not going to take all the credit. He was like, I was like, that's a great deal. I'd love to finance it, but like, I don't have 20%. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll just carry back some equity. So I pay him, I have a 7% note over 5 years with him. I can refinance and pay that off, or I can sell the property, probably just refinance. So, it's essentially asking the question of like, hey, are you willing to delay your payout on this property, on this business or whatever over the course of X many years and make passive income through the interest payments? And it's all income and expenses and cash flow. If you can make the amount of income you need to pay off your debt and not be plugging money into this business or property every month. So you really have to be astute with running the numbers. And Max did that earlier age, 19 than I ever learned. I still am like fairly weak at running the numbers. I think, some people think I'm like really strong at it. It takes a while, but you just got to start.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice there, right? I feel like I subscribed to your newsletter and I like commented back about something, and all of a sudden, like in my inbox was like the numbers about this like multi-unit. Everybody's like, oh, you could totally do this, and I was like, bro, I'm about to buy like 3 new properties. Let's go.
Let's get fired up.
Well, but this always wasn't your thing. Like when you first graduated and started your career, you were a Teach for America history teacher on the near west side of Indianapolis?
Yeah, I was at a charter school, placed there with Teach for America. I had like a mid-college, some people have midlife crises. I had a mid-college crisis, so I was an economics major. And I was like, oh, crap, there's only one thing to do. It's like go be a professor or some research thing somewhere, because it wasn't even a business degree. I was like, I don't want to like go into that. So I was like, let's just do teaching, because I love my history teachers growing up. They always had like the best. I think it was like the competition in the games. So I was like, I'm going to do that for kids. Got into that. Just did Teach for America because I wanted to impact inner city.
And that's a 2-year program?
Yeah.
So you did 2 years of Teach for America. You're at a charter school here in Indianapolis. And where along that journey do you decide, like, you know what, like being a 40-year teacher, like that career is not the one for me?
Yeah, I think it was once I was 4 years in the middle of COVID. And
so after Teach for America, you did 2 more.
I did 2 more. Those might have been the hardest 2. Well, COVID started. So I'm teaching on Zoom. Kind of like the amount of effort and hours I'm putting in versus what the take home was. You'd have to really be passionate. I mean, you'd have to be a saint to continue doing it, which is why they're losing talent in education like crazy. But I was just like, dude, I want to go build wealth. I want to go make an impact my own way, because I was confined to what the bureaucracy and the standards said. And I was like, screw this. I'm just leaving it all. And I want to wake up on Monday and set my schedule, right? That's the dream for like all of us entrepreneurs, like you. And so I was like, real estate.
And you think, right? You're like, yeah, I can just set my own schedule.
Now I know, like, it's like, no, I'm chained actually to my schedule and my, Google Calendar.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like, I can go do anything whenever I want to, as long as you put it on my calendar 2 months from now.
I didn't know.
Give me some space.
You're essentially trading, like they say, like, being an entrepreneur, you work for yourself, ultimate freedom. But really, it's like you're trading being chained from 9 to 5 to being chained in your mind all day, every day, right? 24/7. But and you get to control it. So.
And a lot of times too, I feel like people get into entrepreneurship, or even like the normal real estate agent that like doesn't start their own thing is still kind of like you're building your own book of business. Like there are a lot of careers that are kind of entrepreneurial. But like you get into it, you say, oh, I'm gonna make so much money. And then you realize like rent gets paid, your staff gets paid, the freaking cleaning lady gets paid, and like whatever's left at the end, like that's for you, buddy. Like the leader eats last. So I just think that was like a funny realization. It was like a lot of times people get into entrepreneurship, like I'm gonna be so rich, I'm gonna make so much money. It's like you gotta love the grind. You gotta love, being chained to it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. No holidays.
I did love real estate from the start, though. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you leave teaching and you wake up on Monday and you can set your own schedule. What do you do? How do you end up getting into real estate?
Yeah. So I had Brian Shutt. I don't know if you've had him on the podcast.
Refinery 46?
Yeah. Refinery, and they just sold HomeSense HVAC. Sat down with a meeting with him, and he was like, don't run away from your past. Like, include it in your story narrative. And he was like, the fact you're a teacher and have all these experiences, you should intertwine like your current experiences. And I had this like old rickety house in Irvington that I was like kind of renovating and renting out rooms to buddies. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take the lessons I learned from that and like teach, whether it's on social media or newsletter or events. And it worked. I mean, in short, it was like, dude, the real estate industry is a bunch of like boomer agents who drive around in Cadillacs and like shove business cards in your face. And like, if I was like the young guy going to educate people, like it really worked.
What year was this when you kind of started?
Tail end of COVID is when, so it was really competitive. When I got in, it was like everything was over ask, contingencies waived. So I was like, I thought that was normal. Now I'm realizing, that wasn't.
Yeah, But so you get in at 2021, and at that point, because nowadays I feel like if you say, "Oh yeah, you're the real estate agent that makes social media content," it's like every real estate agent makes some sort of, like some of my biggest competition are real estate agents trying to make like local Indiana content and find hidden gems. No names named. But I digress.
It wasn't us, bro.
Yeah, early on, when I was like 5, like here are my top 3 coffee shops, and Tyler's like, here are my top 3 coffee shops, here are my top 5 restaurants. But it's competitive, and like I'm the type of person, I don't want anyone to not make content. I want you to put your best content out, whoever they are. Put your best Indiana content out, because I'll go beat it. Like, you're not prepared to eat 4 tenderloins. Like, you're not prepared.
I didn't realize the competition between you guys.
Oh, I didn't know the history. I thought we were cheering each other on.
No, we were.
Like you knew. I was never in a competition with Nate. I knew I would have lost from day one.
I'm just saying, like, I like love a friendly competition. And I'm never like putting people down or like, I don't want anyone to make bad content, because it's all about the state of Indiana. It's all a good thing. I am cheering them on, but it like does light a fire where you see someone drop a fire video or like sell I don't know, are you guys like competitive?
Yeah.
Like if you see someone like sell a bigger house or something, you're like, shit, I want to be doing that.
Yeah, at the brokerage, there is a stat leaderboard that you can look at any time, any day of the week and see who's in the top. And like last year, I was in the top 5 constantly, fighting for that one spot. Yeah. It came down to like a December deal that closed.
And you're not like hoping that your friends don't close their deal or hoping your employees don't close their deals, but you're like, I'm going to go one up it, right?
Right.
So how did you guys get connected? What was the intro between Max and Tyler?
Yeah, we got connected through his brother. I went to the same church as he did growing up. He's older than me and was out of the youth group or in the ministry much further than I stepped in. But his brother and I are the same age, his youngest. And we connected.
Blackout Wednesday.
Yeah, Blackout Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Hey, wait, where at what establishment?
Legends Bar
On
and
the
Pub
west side.
in Avon, Indiana.
This guy knows his bars.
Hey, Legend. They had a watch party for the finals. It was on the Pacers Instagram. They
I
said if
saw
you're
it.
on the west side, you got to go to Legends.
I saw that and I thought that was hilarious. But we connected just there. I think it was like December of, or it would have been November of 22.
Max, did you go to Avon?
I did go to Avon.
Oh, you
yeah.
did?
So really, it was just through.
It was
through
just
networks
shout out
and
Oregon.
Avon.
Avon.
And Legends.
Were you,
Right.
were you guys in the famous 2014 lip dub?
No, we were in the better one of 2018.
Oh,
It was the class I
I
think
was.
directly below me.
yes.
So they started doing it every 2 years after and continued on.
So you guys meet Blackout Wednesday, and how quick did you know that we need to go into business together?
So when I bumped into his brother, he's like, "Hey, you're posting stuff on social media. It sounds like you're into the same thing that my brother is like 15 steps ahead of you in." And I didn't know he existed. I knew Kyle, I knew Ryan, I knew Jake, I knew all the Lingles, but I didn't even know that Tyler was a person at all. So I follow him on Instagram, check his stuff out. I'm like, oh, he literally is 10 steps ahead of me, actually transacting. I was at a much larger brokerage with no support, trying to get it all going, posting YouTube content. Don't look up that YouTube content. It's rough. It's very bad. And was just spinning my wheels, trying to get the plane off the ground. He's like, go connect with him. So I literally DM'd him my life story. Just bought this franchise GNC. I'm trying to get it all going. Like, I'd love to have a coffee meeting. Throw a coffee meeting on the calendar. We go meet. He shows up an hour and a half late. Forgot that he had the meeting because we were DMing. And sits down and he like,
Well, you didn't put it on the calendar?
I did. He didn't look at his calendar.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, come on.
But I mean, this actually makes sense as to why each person operates the way they do within the business.
Absolutely, from day one.
Like, for people that don't know, Max is the operational, like the details guy. Tyler shows up hour and a half late. How long does the convo go?
We sat for a good while. I mean, for me, it was
I
a
thought
very
terrible.
impactful conversation.
I thought it went terrible because I did all the talking. I was like, this guy's a mute. But he
funny
asked,
story.
but here's the thing. So I would take, this probably happens to you, Nate. Like I would take, not that I'm a big shot, but I would take meetings with people that were like looking to get ahead and take their next steps. And then a lot of times you give them advice and they never do anything. I thought that was like, oh, I'm meeting with him just to see where he's at. I didn't know it was like a future partnership meeting because he was 5 years younger, right? And like hadn't done a lot yet in the real estate industry. And I like gave him my whole story and the playbook. And I was like, Kyle was like, hey, how'd it go? And I was like, oh yeah, terrible. He probably won't do any of it. But then it was like, I looked at my phone like right after that. He's like, oh yeah, I already joined your team and I've done X, Y, Z. I was like, oh shit, this guy actually follows up and follows through. He was literally the first person that I've done one of those meetings that actually like did the things you say.
I know exactly what you're talking about because they're like, oh, can I pick your brain? And I'm like, oh yeah, because so many people did that for me. Like so many people gave me their time and were very kind, gave me advice, told me to, and like that's the difference. It's just like you don't have to do all of it, but even do like a third, do a couple things, like you're gonna take steps in the right direction, and it can make a big impact and it can change your life.
And tell them what you're doing. If you're taking one of those networking meetings and you're a guy just trying or a gal just trying to get ahead, like do the things they said, like read the book or go meet the person or whatever, and then say, hey, thanks for the advice. I did that. You're going to build a network like wildfire.
You know who's really good at that?
Hunter, yeah.
Dude,
Hunter crushes.
Hunter crushes the follow-up like none other. Dude, first time I met with Hunter, I was like, oh, this guy gets it. Like, and I gave him a bunch of advice because he was putting out content, the Relentless College Entrepreneur podcast and all the stuff he was doing with, at the time, Simpler Living, like, and he like started to put this stuff into action. Then I see him, he sends me a letter with like a custom wax like seal on it. And then he posts on his Instagram the like time lapse of him making this seal. So not only do I have this letter that's just so heartfelt and intentional, then I see that like this thing took 50 minutes to like warm this wax up and like put this seal on. And I'm like, dude, this guy gets it.
That's the type of stuff that has been tossed out the window since I had a kid and got married. But I would love to be that level of it.
When you're just like the solo single guy, like making it happen, you have time to do
sick.
wax follow-up.
Instead, people are just getting drunk at Kilroy's.
Yeah,
Should be
right.
making wax letters.
So Max takes initiative, does some follow-up. Tyler's like, you're surprised. Where does that come to the portion where you're like, let's work together, let's do business?
Yeah, the next step that he gave me was, if you want to join the brokerage, go join the brokerage. I'm like, great. I know nobody at Properties Indy. Like, I don't know the next step. So I get on the phone with whoever, probably Rosie is who you connect me with, and meet with his mentor, Rex Fisher, who is a dear mentor of mine now. We have a meeting, and Rex ships me off to this like other office that would be closer to my home in Brownsburg. He's like, just go meet with those guys, join the brokerage, get on their team. They'll be great.
You can just join a brokerage? Like how?
Yeah, you can just walk in and give them your license because you're going to pay, right, to be a part of the club. And they ship me off to the Brownsburg guys. They're dismantling their team. And I'm like, I want to be on a team. I don't want leads. I want to get in somebody's passenger seat and learn how they are being successful. That's what I told them. It's probably the only words that I said at the meeting, it sounds like, was I want to get in your passenger seat, dude, and like learn from you. And I go meet with the Brownsburg guys. They push me back to Rex. So I text Rex that night and I'm like, I'm joining your team. Can I come to your team meeting on Friday? And he's like, well, I don't know if we have, he's like, fine, just come. I come to the meeting, show up. Tyler looks over and he's like, what are you doing here? We had coffee like a week ago. Why are you at my team meeting? And from there, I just sat down next to him, and I can vividly remember he's like on the phone, speakerphone, closing a deal with Josh Matthews in a conference room at the Broad Ripple office. And I'm listening to these guys yin and yang back and forth on this property on Denny Street. I know that for a fact because I'm sitting at the end of the conference table, like watching the Wolf of Wall Street, like right in front of my eyes. Like, what is going on? The penny stock's being sold. We're getting the property done. I'm like, I want it. I want to be in, and I want to be in that club. And shortly after that, I like figured it all out and sat in Tyler's passenger seat.
At that point in your real estate career, had you sold a house?
I went pending on 2 for like a relational thing, and they fell apart. So no, I'd sold nothing.
So you had never sold a house?
Basically, so I didn't know like all of that, but I do remember this Denny Street. Probably never ever should have been selling this house in Denny Street. It might have been the worst house ever, and I've learned a lot since then. But it's like it was like the heart of the near east side. But the next step was I basically had like this listing that was like on the far east side, a bit rough. A tenant had like torn it up, and the guy was distressed, and he wanted to list this property with me. So I was like, okay, great. And I put like Max Moore as the co-agent, and I just like, Max, you're doing all this. And I was like expecting again him to like throw his hands in the air, give up, and not sell it. And he was like, about 45 days later, after blood, sweat, and tears, he was like, oh yeah, I closed this property and it's done. And then like fast forward about like quite a few more of those deals. He was like, because I was like, bet I made it. I have this protege that's going to do all my work for me and I'm going to make a cut. But then he leveled up and was like, sent me this, like, if you know Max, he sends very long text messages, usually with like a spreadsheet or a Google Doc attached. And it was like a very long text, one of the longest texts I've ever seen. I had to scroll multiple times.
Did you have to click the 3 dots on it? Was it that long?
Yes.
Oh.
And it was like essentially the pitch, like, let's start a team. Let's do this. We don't need this other team standing in our way, because I was paying, dividends to this other team. And Max, to his credit, had a lot up his sleeve and is way better than me at operations, logistics, all of that, systems. And like since then, it's been like
how long from
blessing.
Like that first Friday meeting did it take for you guys to be like, we should go do this on our own?
Yeah, I transferred my license December 21st of 2022, and Roots LLC date is June 23rd of 2023. 6 months.
6 months.
It was extremely fast. People probably thought we were idiots. They thought like, oh, Roots, this is funny.
Rex is a dear mentor to both of you.
Yeah,
right.
Rex's team we were on.
You were on Rex's team. When like anyone else, Rex is like
Rex Fisher
at properties here in Indy. Yeah. Like they crush. Was he like upset that you guys were leaving? Like
he didn't seem especially thrilled the meeting when we told him, because I think we were a large part of his volume. He might be listening to this, so like we love Rex. He's been amazing, and we continue to receive his mentorship and add value to the brokerage. But I would say like we were doing a pretty substantial volume for that team that year, but they've picked it up and been fine. I mean, he's post having to get down in the trenches and down, like he's made it. Like he can find people to replace a Max and Tyler, right?
Yeah.
So
Rex was huge for me in like the growth in that 6 months. Tyler gave me 3902 North Bolton. Everybody can look it up. This house, when we closed, it ended up, the hot water heater, AC, and furnace were stolen while we were under contract. And like Tyler knows, I just dealt with it. And we got post-closing, and I'm like, dude, what do I do? Everything's stolen, and this buyer's freaking out on me. And it's my first time selling a house, so like it's a huge deal. That has never happened since.
Wait, is this the one on the Far East Side?
Yeah.
The 3902 North
So they
Bolton?
ended up, they were flipping it. So it looks way better now.
Wait, so 3902 North Bolton.
Yep.
This was the first house?
First house.
And everything gets stolen.
Everything gets stolen. No forced entry either. So like the property manager had to have taken it. And that's like, there's no way that it wasn't the PM. I think my guy owed him money. So he went and took all the stuff because he knew we were selling. And he's like, yep, this is mine.
Like, who discovered this?
The buyer. After we closed.
You closed. Buyer walks in and is like, yo, this ain't right.
Yep. And I'm like freaking out sitting in the Chipotle parking lot, 10 p.m. on a Friday.
Now you see why I was like, yeah, I'm going to partner with this guy who's done like whatever, how many transactions. It wasn't that many because he walked through basically a mountain pile of crap. His first deal.
What was like,
got it done.
What was your first call? So after the person gets done of just absolutely screaming at you, I'm sure, about how there's no water. There's no what?
There's no water heater, furnace, or AC.
Furnace?
We're talking about like 20 grand worth of material at a
Bro, who do you
This
call?
is the first time I'm hearing some of this.
I called the seller and I explained to him and I go, do you think it was like I start putting the things together, getting down into the trenches.
Bro, PI Max over here.
And he on Monday calls me and goes, I think it was the property manager. It's my fault. I didn't pay him for the water heater. So he repoed everything out of spite. I will handle it. And I gave him a contact to like call his insurance company and see if they would cover it. They cut a $1,500 check. Plus my guy matched it with a $3,000 check. And it ended up being $4,500, cut a check to the buyer. Buyer was happy because they were flipping the house anyways. They were going to replace that stuff. Like, let's be honest. And yeah, you know, the comments will flood and say this, the buyer probably took it because you didn't do your due diligence and go check it. The property manager admitted that they're like, yeah, he owed us money. So that's what we do.
Wow. That's crazy. Like putting that all together, like your first deal,
right?
You're like sweet success. Like, yes, I closed one.
And it was all for like a $1,000 commission.
Right. But through that, you asked about Rex and like how Rex felt, you know, us leaving and going and starting Roots. Rex summoned me to his office to meet weekly after I mutually leased. And in real estate, whenever both sides can't agree, you mutually lease. I basically was writing offers for these two investors nonstop all day long. And they were like backing out of every deal, which is a no bueno situation. Rex summons me to mentor me. He's like, you're doing all the right things, kid, but here's how you have to go about it. And like walked me through the process. So when we get to that 6-month mark and Tyler and I are showing up to the team meeting and counting on our fingers when they're like, team pinned 10 deals this month. And Tyler and I are like 8 of them. Naturally, my brain starts going, well, I can get my own admin staff. I can get my own operations going here. And Rex and I had very intentional conversations prior to me sending Tyler the whole business plan and the whole proposal to go out and the P&L projections and all that stuff. And that was brought up through that mentorship. So he was excited for us and continued to mentor us along the way. I think to Rex's credit, he never showed me probably some of the scarcity that he had. Like he was very abundant, forward facing, but I'm sure backstage he was like, oh, what am I going to do on my own team? And I don't know if these guys, truthfully, this is the best idea for them. But he stayed committed and let us have the freedom to go stub our toes. Because where would we have gone if we messed up? We would have come crawling right back to Rex.
Yeah. Rex is just that dude that actually does what's best for you and leads with abundance. And
you have to have those mentors in your
he always
life.
says, like, I'm like, Rex, how can we pay you back? And he's like, just keep rising the tide. Because he's like, rise the tide, all boats will rise, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So it's like,
and he
just
has the
keep putting-
catch-all, right? He's got the brokerage, which we still reside and we're still partnered with.
Yeah. So I mean, there's benefits there, and it's cool to see like kind of the coaching tree when you see like people go out and flourish and do their own thing, and you know, I hope that most mentors and teachers would be like, you know, I want people that come up under me to go out and build more and do better and be better. You know, that's kind of like,
right.
I feel like the dream if you're like truly a selfless mentor, right? So cool. Kudos to you, Rex. Keep up the good work, man. Here's what I want to know. One thing that I've learned about the Roots Realty team is you guys do a great job of complementing each other. The other might not be as strong. I'm not going to say weak, but we'll say not as strong. How do you go about finding or maybe like identifying a good partner? And like what makes your guys' partner dynamic work so well?
For me, it was very intentionally going and finding somebody who can walk into a room of people and have a gravitational pull and connect, which is Tyler's like, that's what he does. He connects with people. He has this whole tree of how to make $1 million before 30. And the whole principle is based on connectivity and network. For me, he said it, I didn't speak in the first meeting. It takes me a minute to warm up. Probably the first encounter that we had actually was at a masterclass event and I had no idea who you were and like follower count or anything that you were doing. We had a very genuine conversation. But any other conversation I had that day was probably like nervous. So I needed somebody who could be the head of the snake for me. And that was like the attraction partnership wise. So I think if you're more of the operational brain, you have to have the person that has that marketing bone, because I hate
You
it.
should find someone whose superpower is your weakness, right?
Right.
Is the principal. I don't know who to give credit to, but I didn't know how much when I was running and gunning. When you're running and gunning, you don't know your blind spots. They're enormous, but you just don't know, and you're actually getting subtly attacked by them. I didn't know how much I was losing, and that the fact that I would never be able to have a team without someone whose brain is like Max's. So I always say it was genuinely a blessing from God that I met Max, because I wasn't hunting for Max. He just entered the picture and was exactly what I needed.
And you could have been like, let's say Max is not in the picture. You could have been an all-star real estate agent, which is like basically running your own business. Like talk about being a big personality, making
Just
content.
being a really good sales person, but there's some business components, but it's mostly selling.
Yeah, and like being a good host when you go into a property, and like being a good agent and being a good business owner. Like there's some crossover there of like running a real estate business, obviously, but like there is this operational piece that Max has that you needed to put together to make this dream team. Because I will say Tyler is so good at walking in and he's like making friends, and all of a sudden everyone's just like vibing and getting along, whether it's showing up to Run Club or the master class or whatever. Like go on stage and give Tyler the mic and the intro will be nailed. I love it. And then as I've got to know you more, Max, I totally agree. I was so genuinely fascinated. Like I always love people that are doing interesting things. And one, starting a real estate company at any state or any age or whatever, challenging, interesting. But I was like, this kid who bought a GNC, like there has to be something going on with him that's just like
There's got to be a wire crossed in a good way.
Yeah, like for sure. Like anyone
Maybe a
who's
couple.
crazy enough to like, and it's like, I don't know, how old were you when I met you?
2023.
He was a swimmer. And if you know anything about swimmers, they're really good at just having tenacity and just going through a big wall. So it's funny, like most people like look at something that they want to achieve and be like, oh, but here's the reasons I can't do this or I got to do this. He looks at it and he's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then does X, Y, Z to go do it. Whereas like I think about it more in terms of like deficiency. He is one of the best people just running through a brick wall. And
dude, you just put your head down and just keep going.
It's what swimmers do.
Dude, I would say like, so obviously a lot of people know I coach wrestling at Chittard, and it's like, I feel like there's like the morning crew, like the crew that goes in to like run or practice before school. There's always swimmers there. And then it's like the after school crew too. And so I have like a respect for swimmers because they're in the pool early, hour and a half, like getting a workout in before school, like for high school, whatever. And then after school too. So there's like a good mutual respect there. Swimmers are just put your head down and just keep going.
Yeah, you're in a pool for like 25 hours a week to be competitive.
That's
and
wow.
I think the wrestlers are right there. I've always said that those are the two hardest high school sports.
And there's just something like, this is wires crossed. There's wires crossed on both those sports. Yeah. Like it's not like playing basketball. Basketball is like fun. Like go Pacers, come on. We kind of talked about the partnership, how you guys got to know each other. Finding someone who complements where you're deficient at. Let's talk about in general, like how much has Indiana and Indianapolis's hot real estate market played a portion of your guys' success thus far too? Right, so it's one thing to be like time, place, put all those things together and like magic happens. Because you guys are up to, I think I said 11 staff members, 11 people as part of the organization now.
Yeah, a total of 11, 8 being agents.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like congrats on that. That's super sick. You're like running a team, like you're making it happen.
Full blown
over
team.
3 years,
2.5,
2.5 years. Let's freaking go. The other thing people know is that the past 2.5, 3 years here in Indy has been bonkers. So talk to me about what makes Indianapolis such a special real estate market.
We are the best market if you want to build wealth in real estate. And here's what I mean. We are like number 11 in terms of price to income ratio. So like number 1 is going to be like West Virginia, super cheap homes. So like we're number 11, and then California is way up the top.
Because there's not really a quality metric in that. Like price to
it's just like you can actually afford property. I mean, it's harder, don't get me wrong, but like the median priced home, like if you go to like some of these neighborhoods in the Near East Side, like you can get an amazing home for like $200K, right? And it's like you put $5,000 down with a FHA loan, like a really good home.
Yeah.
And so like it's a genuinely great market for getting, one, barriers of entry are low here, and then 2, just stability. So it's like right now, a place like Austin is down like 20%. I don't know if you know this. They're down 20% in prices right now as of May or June of 2025. We're up 16%, even though rates double.
When people say down, what do you mean by like
Their
number of
median
transactions
price.
or price is down?
Median price and transactions are.
It's all down.
And we're up, even though rates went from 2.5 to 7. We've chugged along. Like nobody's talking about how
Like
strong
pricing
we're
is
doing.
still going up. Like
Yeah.
the value of homes.
Pricing is still going up. Affordability isn't tracking higher. So it's not that it's this weird combination of when it gets too expensive based on your median income to buy a house and the house prices go way up, it becomes harder to buy a home, right? You can't afford it as much. In Indy, we're tracking steadily together. Job growth and opportunity is increasing.
Okay, so earnings are going up alongside of house cost price, median price. What stat are you using there?
Talking more like median price.
Median home price. Yeah.
And when you think about the duplex that you bought in your house hacking, why would you have bought that if it doesn't increase in value, right? You would have just rented it and you would have let somebody else buy it. So that's important. It's still affordable to buy, but you also still get that appreciation. I was looking at a stat this week. In 10 years, think back to 2014, we are 106% up on median price. 106%. You can buy a house in 2014 for $100,000, sell it today for $212,000. You just made 112 G's doing nothing besides just owning the place and mortgage paydown.
How much of that came from like 2019 to 2023? I feel like it went bonkers. So I bought my house in 2019, bought another house in 2020, bought another house in 2022.
So here's the thing with that. Let me riff on that. Like, yes, there was a substantial low inventory, especially it hit its low point in like around the early spring of 2022, extremely direly low amount of homes in the market. So yes, prices went up. They were also doing quantitative easing. So like, right, the interest rates hit about
5% around there.
Yeah.
In 2022, they went to like 5.
Yeah, it was a little delayed. But here's the thing. The inventory problem in Indy isn't totally solved. Like you might assume, oh, it's all over. Home prices are going to be in a bubble and they're going to start trending down. Like, no, the reason why they've steadily been going up, not as drastically, is because we still have very low inventory for the amount of net migration and net job creation in Indianapolis. Our GDP has grown faster than any Midwest city in the past 10 years. I mean, you had other guests. So, I mean, we have a large, with Lily, with all this stuff happening, I mean, we have a large economy and not enough homes for people.
I always say the interesting piece is I feel like Indy grows, central Indiana grows at the expense of the reaches of Indiana. Like people like me from small town Indiana that see opportunity in Indianapolis and like graduate college and don't go back to their small town and just come and like add a building block on central Indiana. Whether it's, I mean, it spreads further out. Like we're talking the Sheridans, the Danvilles, the south side even further, the east side even further, the Greenfields, Hancock County, like, but that's all at the, I mean, I'm not an economist, but my impression is that it's all people coming from small town Indiana and then like putting more building blocks on.
Well, I
central
think you'd be
Indiana.
surprised. I think there's more people than ever moving from Chicago,
Really?
from California.
California is huge because this is what they're doing. They're renting their place that they own in California for $10,000 a month and moving here.
And they're renting here.
And they're
by the
renting
way.
here.
That's so smart.
All these rentals up for like $4,000 a month over on like Cottage Place or like, Windsor Park or some of these areas. Like
my portfolio is up 30-40% in the past 2 years on rent. That doesn't happen overnight. Like that is, it's wild.
And
to
by the
see.
way, all these people do want to buy. And when rates tick down just a little bit, I mean, we're going to see some gigantic appreciation increases in the next 10 years in Indy. Like hundreds of thousands. I'm legitimately just when you look at the supply demand, because a lot of people are choosing to rent right now and that want to buy. Like I bet a lot of people listening even are like, oh yeah, I do want to buy a house. In the next 10 years, they're going to. So, I mean...
And there's certain neighborhoods and places that are just staples. Like, I mean, we've bought our 3 properties all around Broad Ripple because it's like, I'm just betting on the area. Like,
Such a good place to bet.
Well, they're not building new lots in Broad Ripple.
Yeah, there's no new real estate.
Yeah.
Versus like as it continues to go out north and further north. I mean, we had Clint Mitchell from Estridge, and he said his prediction for 15 years was 296th Street. Like there will be developments going up all the way up to Baker's Corner.
I mean, Kokomo is already getting a lift right now.
It's easy to see though, like it's expanding. We're a donut when you look at 465, and outside of that, we continue to still be a circle. Like I grew up in Avon, you grew up in Avon, and we both coincidentally grew up as west as you can go in Avon and still have that zip code at the time. And when you reflect back on that time, how like country boony was it to go and drive out to Danville? Mm-hmm. Like, why would you go to Danville for anything? And now I live in Danville. And to me, it feels like Avon when I was growing up.
Well, I appreciate you making a road trip here to the studio, man. Coming in from Danville.
Hey, we had our team meeting in the Broad Ripple
Let's
office.
go.
I'm
In the
Indiana
hotel for the
bound
night?
every day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry, you guys. We're putting him up in Bottle Works. Come on, but that's great. Like it's not that crazy because even like if I think about Greenfield and Greenwood, like that place is booming. Southside's booming. It's
Well,
like
I think what you're seeing, Nate, is that like I actually think some of these peripheral small towns are gonna do really well. Greenfield, Lebanon, Whitestown. So
Whitestown didn't
I
have streets like 3 years ago. Like if you go look at the Google Maps 3 years ago and look at it today, it's tripled how many little tiny streets they have.
So
because
like
of neighborhoods.
The small towns around the Metro Indy are gonna be great places. I do think some of the bourbon Indianas of the state are gonna struggle because they're not close to the amenities that an Indy has, right?
Yeah. I say this is like if you're exporting your. This is not a white collar or a blue collar podcast. It's different. But if you're exporting all of your college talent to Indianapolis, like you're going to be in trouble in the future. So like go to any small town in Indiana, go to their high school, look at their valedictorian, salutatorian, like top 10s in the class. How many of them are coming back to the town? That's kind of like if you think of, and again, I am pro blue collar. Like you don't have to be good in school to start a business, grow a business, any of that stuff. But like if you're losing your 10 smartest kids, a class of 67. Like the top 10 people all leave and don't come back. It's tough to have business owners. It's tough to have like economic growth if they're not coming back to their small town to be close to their family because they can FaceTime twice a week. That's my hot take. We might clip that. Might get some poor feedback from my Facebook fans, but we're just keeping it real. When we think about Central Indiana, a lot of people think that like they missed the bubble, like they missed the Broad Ripple bubble, they missed the Fountain Square bubble, they missed Bates Hendricks, they missed Irvington. Like, where do you guys see as opportunity? Whether it's for people that want to buy and live there for their quality of life, or on the other side, they want to be investors.
I mean, I still think we're on the bottom of the curve. We're not the top of the curve. We're still at the part that's building to get to hyperbolic. Because a lot of the commercial investment starts first and then resident. So I mean, like, there was like $14 billion coming to downtown Indy between like Bottle Works and Signia Hotel and
the new Fever place. Yeah,
so much, right? So I mean, like, all that's gonna have reverberations.
Whatever
in terms
happens
of
for Indy
residential,
if that ever exists.
But I mean, if the question is where you missed the boat, I mean, like, I think that there's a lot of opportunity in the near west side, and nobody's talking about it, but that's why there's opportunity. You can buy $150K. One of the first agents on our team bought a house for $125K and sold it for $175 2 years later in Riverside. I mean, Riverside, but down by Gubin House, has a large. They're building new build duplexes, and HE Homes is building. I mean, there's a ton of opportunity there, and it's quite livable.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Roots Realty Co., the absolute best real estate team here in Central Indiana. Listen, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you need people who actually care about our Indiana community. That's Tyler and Max over at Roots Realty. These guys aren't just slinging houses, they're building communities, helping people find homes that actually fit their lives and making the whole process way less stressful. They're not some big corporate machine. They're real people who know Indiana inside and out. Whether you're a first-time buyer, an investor looking for your next deal, or just trying to get top dollar for your home, these guys have the expertise and the hustle to make it happen. They're out here doing great work, not just in Indianapolis, but all across Central Indiana and beyond. So if you're in the market, or even if you're thinking about it, hit up Tyler and Max at Roots Realty Co. and they'll take good care of you. Check them out at rootsrealty.co or meet them in person at one of their upcoming investor masterclasses. More details on their website, rootsrealty.co. Let's get back into it. If you had three chips to like place bets, we're gonna do this. This will be fun. 3 chips. One bet is like, okay, your safety. If you had like put money into buy a house somewhere safe, you have like your medium risk, like, oh, okay, it's trending upward. And then you had your home run risky, like the 20-to-1 return.
I love this.
How would you place your 3 chips in the Indianapolis real estate market?
Safe bet. I'm betting in Danville because of the amount of people moving that direction that grew up in Avon. There is a lot of people moving in, and there is a lot of new
Bro's a
homes going
homer.
in.
Bro's a homer.
Number
you have
9
to.
in housing starts in Indiana, Danville.
You're saying the safest bet that you could place around
Yeah, because in
Indiana-
Danville right now, you can go and buy and add value and refinance and keep liquidity low. And the rent to price ratio is strong enough. There's enough people that want to rent and have the jobs to do it that they're fine.
Don't get into an argument with an econ numbers guy. I'm not going to do that on the air. No. All right, I trust you. Like that's just like a wild one. I did not see Danville coming.
When you do your small town breakdown, you'll have to do a before and after because that square is about to completely change.
How long?
5-10 year scale.
Yeah,
it'll
I
be a
mean, the
while.
square is going
It's
to look
early.
completely different.
Okay.
It's going to look a
Early.
lot more like Noblesville, which Noblesville is doing fantastic. I don't know if you've been
and
there recently.
Noblesville's. I just did an interview with the mayor of Noblesville, Mayor Jensen. Great dude. Like
They've done something right. I was there. It was like a million small little artisan shops and little restaurants.
They even
and
went to some of the like law offices and like local stuff that was like, hey, let's not so much like commercial, like things that you can't walk into or that you don't want to walk into. Like we don't need to walk into a law office or an accountant or whatever. And they said, hey, would you guys be willing to go upstairs on this building because you're a law office?
Yeah.
So we could put something that's like,
Yeah.
you know, that you need a storefront for, like a boutique or whatever. And a lot of them did.
It's exactly
Which
what
is
I'm
so
hearing
cool.
around our square because that's what it is. Because guess what's in the middle of the square? The courthouse. So of course law offices can walk to the courthouse. They need to, but they don't need to be downstairs.
They don't need to be like right front with a huge picture glass window.
Right.
Like no, dude. put
Nor does
something
the real
cool.
estate company.
Yeah,
either.
that's
There's
another one
so
too.
many of like, or the you could go on for days. The appraiser's
Yeah.
office, all the
So
things.
your safest bet in Central Indiana is Danville.
Yeah, I'm betting on
All right,
Danville.
respect. Tyler, what's the safest bet for real estate in Central Indiana?
it's really hard not to go for one of the periphery markets, like even like a Lebanon. No, Lebanon, the Leap District. I mean, if you're seeing how fast some of these homes are selling,
I'm talking about like safe as in like my grandma is retiring in 5 years and she's putting her life savings into this and just doesn't want it to lose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what I would do, which is what I am currently doing, which is Broad Ripple.
That's
I mean,
what I
it's
was like,
tried and true.
Like, they're not making any more Broad Ripple. Like Lebanon, like I don't know. There's still a lot of ifs for me there.
You kind of see it in Kokomo how it's playing out right now.
So the danger with Broad Ripple is if there's a general decline in safety and infrastructure in Indy that goes too far to where there's a max exodus, there is some danger there. Like Carmel is going to be safe. Their parks are going to be clean. Their roads are going to be good.
This has been the interesting part of. I mean, Carmel's a pretty safe.
I mean, if you want to go safe, we can go to legitimately safe, which is what Fishers, Zionsville, Carmel in the nation.
Yeah, like I mean, I think like
You're going to go literally
Carmel,
safe.
Fishers, but like
Very boring,
I,
but yeah.
I would say like
In terms of
I think
real
if you had to put your life savings in a place that's gonna still exist in the same capacity in 10 years, like I feel like Carmel's a pretty good bet there, pretty safe. But I like the diverse schools of thought here. I think it's pretty cool. We're gonna skip the middle one. We're just gonna go the riskiest. Like if you had to just place a risky bet somewhere here in Central
risky,
Indiana,
but you believe it will do.
Like-
It could go hockey stick.
if you had, you know, $100K to invest in real estate and you believe that it would be worth $1 million in 10 or 15 years, like where's going to return the biggest amount if it hits?
West bank of the White River, Stringtown, the Valley neighborhood. That would be easily right by Elenco, the big glass shiny building, Elenco.
Oh, right by
All
the
that
zoo.
real estate.
Right
it
by the
used
zoo.
to be like $25K for a house. Not that long ago.
It's not that far off still. Like you can, you're right under six figures.
Right. But they're paying stupid price for some of those.
That's
like,
the old GM stamping plant, like that whole area.
it's already up. I mean, I don't know
It's
if they're
not
working in there.
operational yet, but it's
Okay.
up.
But like I haven't been down to see like the actual structure is up.
It's beautiful. Look at it and look at the real estate next to it. Your jaw will drop and you'll think, I should have bought this already. Like, and they're trading for the margins in some of these distressed homes that they're trading at are unreasonable.
Let's just go take a peek.
It's because they know what the appreciation is going to be.
Max, where would you place your bet?
Little Flower or like Community East, Tuxedo Park on the east side of Indy. The reason why that is because there's been enough of activity on that direction that I just think the needle continues to move, which for anybody that invests is probably the boring pick. I'm a big Little Flower guy. That's the place where I invest quite a bit of money in the hockey stick direction. Like those are my riskier bets, if you will, but honestly become more of my headache-free bets.
Little Flower is the cheap man's. This is going to be very offensive to people who live there, but the cheap man's Irvington. But because of that, it has a large blue collar presence and a large historic Catholic presence. Little Flower, there's a Catholic church. It's very stable amidst kind of the rough and tumble east side.
Yeah, I mean, there's still properties for $35K. That's a lot in Stringtown for $35K, $150. But then there's a renovated one.
Yeah, buy that lot. I mean, I'm telling you right now, go buy that lot, and I guarantee.
What do I got to put down on a lot for $35K?
$35K.
Yeah, there's not many lot loans unless you're building a permanent thing on it.
Here we go. We're buying 271 Miley Ave. It's $3,920.
Build a new group duplex. Shout out to New Group.
Yeah.
Building a duplex with them. NEU Group.
You are?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, you could build one of those over there. It'd be sick.
Wow. Okay, those are where you're placing your bets. You guys are just more in tune with like the downtown area of what's going on there. Have I missed the boat on Whiteland? If we're saying 296th Street North,
Yeah.
are we thinking whatever negative 296th Street is south?
Here's the difference about the North. The North has momentum right out of the city. You bleed into Carmel, you keep on going.
The Southwest Andes, similar in dissimilar ways, are a bit cut off. The North Side does bleed.
You have a
most
mall on
into
either
Indy.
side. Which mall are you going to? Like, which one feels better?
The South Side in particular, there's a bit of a even cultural shift. It's much more like Kentucky down there. Don't you? I mean, have you? I mean, they have an accent down there.
Hot take.
They have an
in.
accent. I'm not joking. Go to Martinsville. They have an accent.
They do.
And that's not far from.
You're not wrong.
I didn't think I wasn't going wide as I traveled south. I get it. I get what you're saying.
No, and I love it down there. They get on their four wheels, they go hunting. I mean, it's a different scene down in southern
You're acting like
Indiana.
they're like the deep south.
I'm not
It's
even joking. Even parts of Greenwood and Center Grove, you have that influence more on it.
that is fair.
It's
I
the
agree.
influence. It's not so much that they're straight up Hicks. I'm not trying to say they're uncivilized Hicks. They're great.
If there's not a drive-through tractor to school day,
I'm in a
Keep
very
going.
big ditch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail.
No,
you
you're
are
fine.
now going to have to sponsor all their drive-through tractors to school days.
Gosh.
Amen. Dude, I don't know. I think that if I was taking a bet, what do we know about Mooresville?
I know. Gray's Brothers just closed.
I think that I might take a bet on
You
Mooresville.
should buy Gray's Brothers.
Do you not know
Grace
that's
Brothers?
the
The
diner?
cafeteria.
The cafeteria thing?
Yeah.
It closed.
Wait,
done.
what? All right,
Over.
I'm taking that bet away. Honestly, I'm not the. I'm not the.
They went all their commercials.
I'm not the expert here. That's why I have you guys on the show.
Just go Danville, bro.
I go safe and broader.
Just go Danville.
Like, I don't want my 100x to be Max's safe bet. But honestly, that's probably probably a good idea. People our age have trouble buying homes right now. They like are scared or like say, oh, it's too expensive. Do this. Coach us through. What would you say? What do you say to the 25 to 30-year-old that's trying to buy a home for the first time? How do they get a house?
How old were you when you bought your first?
I was 23, 22.
How old were you?
23.
I was 19. So we're all way above the curve. That's the first and foremost thing that somebody needs to hear. 23, 19, so beyond far ahead where you're supposed to be. And it'll pay us dividends down the road. How did you buy your first house? What was the first thing that you did? Did you have a tenant living with you? Did you house hack?
Roommates.
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 Same here.
When you're
that
single.
was the idea.
Yeah.
Then my now wife moved in with me instead of a roommate, but she still paid rent like a roommate. That's my point, right? You have to house hack. You have to bring down the barrier of entry so that you can break in, which would be via a house hack.
Yeah. Here was my number one thing. It's like, how do I take every other 22, 23-year-old's biggest expense and make mine the smallest?
Yep.
And make it a profit center.
So smart.
Everyone's spending, and at the time, dude, I think my mortgage was like $1,200, and I had 3 roommates that were all paying like $450, and I was like, dude, I get paid every month to live. This is sick. Like I think it was the greatest financial idea I've ever had.
And the synergy behind that isn't even being mentioned is the principal pay down over that year. You're paying down your principal as you continue to move along, and you are not putting any equity into it. So not only is it appreciating, you're having principal pay down. You have no monthly expense. You can go and take big risks, like starting Get In and bringing all this content to life, which was all fueled on the back of house hacking.
Honestly, it was.
It was.
This is true.
That's how I was able to get into real estate. I mean, I didn't have this huge liability of a $2,000 rent check.
Yeah.
Was legitimately, I actually sold. So people probably thought I was like, oh, how did this guy must have had inherited a bunch of money. I bought 2 investment properties at age 26, a quad on the Near East Side and a single family home. And I bought a new home in Broad Ripple. And people probably were like, what the hell? Like, how did he must have got a big check from his family member. I actually have had comments. No, I sold my first house and it had doubled in valued. because I bought it in Irvington when it was kind of up and coming, and we did some stuff to it.
Sometimes you just get a little bit lucky too.
Yeah, but you gotta be in the game to get lucky.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta have the equity snowball starting when you're young. So like the last thing I'll say is we had a podcast with John Murphy. He's one of the most successful mortgage originators in the state, and he said young people need to be grabbed by the shirt collars and brought to a loan originator and have that first consultation. Not because you're going to be sold a mortgage day one, but because they're going to put you on a plan to know here's where your credit is, here's where your DTI is, your debt to income, and here's what you could be pre-approved. And if you want to be pre-approved for more or build it up, here's what you can do. That plan is worth its weight in gold, and it also gives a game plan to the realtor. And if you don't know a good mortgage broker or mortgage lender, you need to find a good realtor. Obviously, that's why we exist, is to try to help people connect the dots there.
And a lot of people get confused at the one stop of the realtor, and they're like, go talk to John Smith or John Murphy. We can just use John Murphy or Renata Lima with Approved Mortgage. Go talk to those guys and come back to me. And it's this thing where they don't pick up the phone and they don't call because they think the realtor should have the financial acumen to explain, here's what you need to cut in your monthly budget to get pre-approved, to get on the track. That's not our job, is to connect. And at some capacity for me, it's like I had to go get a side hustle to buy my first house. I was obsessed with the idea of owning a home. I rented one singular apartment, and it was because my girlfriend, wife now, she felt like it was too much commitment to buy a home. I'm like, you're not buying the home, I am.
Wait, it all panned out.
Yeah.
But the commitment to buy a home early on,
Right.
Give me.
This guy rewired his own house.
I did fully, and I had to put sweat equity
get in the
into it.
trenches.
Shut up! You rewired your. That's why you need a Max Moore in your life, dude.
Yeah, I didn't do
home.
rewiring,
But that house in Avon, like in 3 years, just similar to Tyler, almost tripled my equity position just from purchasing it.
and the people think this can't continue.
What would you say? So right out of school, when you're young, when you're single, easy to house hack. Like you're already doing it. Like
If you have a W-2 job, go take it to the bank.
yeah,
Stop
when
looking
you-
at apartments right
Yeah,
now.
when you and your 3 friends house hack together. No, but look at my rentals. Like make sure you make sure you
Yeah.
check out my rentals.
Check
No,
out
actually,
these
we're
ones
leased up. But what about the like young family that's still living in an apartment somewhere? Like they maybe just got married, they're living in an apartment, but they're like, we want to buy a house, but we can't get exactly what we want in the location that we want, and like we're dual income, but like
That is genuinely harder than the single person.
So much harder.
They have some bigger liabilities that are harder to move.
Baggage.
You have to get on like a 1 to 2 year plan, and you have to go scorched earth in pursuit of that plan. And you have to know, hey, my family's future depends on me taking these steps. Because I will tell you this, you don't want to be renting in 10, 15 years with what rents are going to charge, and you're going to have nada to show for it. $0 in your pocket to show from that.
Here's the plan. You go on Amazon and there is a book by Bigger Pockets called like How to Invest in Real Estate or the Rental Property. I can imagine the title. I can't name the name. Pick up the like Roadmap to Financial Freedom by Dave Ramsey. Start listening to the Roots podcast and call me in a year and a half, or Tyler or one of our team members, and be ready to purchase a house, because there's an overhaul in that example of baggage that you're bringing into that marriage that you need to cleanse and get on the same page very quickly on financial status. If you're still renting, it's because there's credit, student loans, something that went wrong along the path that you have not been able to save up enough money to get over the curve. We're talking 3.5% down for an FHA loan in a market in Indianapolis with a median home price of like $275. Not that much money.
Shockingly low.
It's not that much
We
money.
have many buyers that, because of some of the seller credits they get in the tax proration,
Zero.
actually walk away.
I had a guy get paid to buy a
getting
house.
money. We've had people walk away with
Sign me
money
up.
in their pocket.
I'll take 2.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Wow.
We've got Trace live in the studio, our employee. We're gonna help him buy a house for $0. I guarantee it, because we'll find the deal that's deep enough that they can get there. And I'm not putting that out. Everybody get your 5% saved up to put down.
You do have to have the equity, but yeah.
But you need
This
the
is
equity.
this is not financial advice.
Not by any
do
means,
do
yeah.
this at
Disclaimer.
your own risk.
I always say, to make matters simple, I always say you're really safe if you have $30,000, which some people are like, that's an insurmountable amount of money. Okay, that includes some reserves,
gotta
factoring in
live
if
like
the
you're
roof's.
broke.
But if you have $30,000 and you are renting, there's no reason, if you're going to live here for more than 2 years, go buy a damn house. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
I I think Dave Ramsey's first step is like go sell everything in the house to the point where the kids think that like something's tragically wrong. Like they're worried about what clothes they're going to wear tomorrow because you sold it all. Like go reset and get yourself cleansed to get on an equity track. Because here's the bad thing: what the median average age of buying a house is 30 plus. You're late. You're too late. If you don't have retirement by that age, the amount of money that you are going to continually pay to get back on track, I full-heartedly believe you're late.
Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. If you said 30 grand is the number you need to get to. If you're not there,
that's for it to be very, very conservative.
Yeah. Like if you spent 300 days Uber driving or door dashing or doing whatever, and put that money like go for 4 hours, 2 nights a week or whatever it is, just get it to $100. Like turn on your Uber app, turn off your Uber app when
this is my story.
Were you driving?
This is what
Uber?
I did. That was my
your side hustle. Was Uber?
I clocked into Target at 8 a.m., clocked out around 2, clocked into GNC at 2:30, clocked out around 9, jumped in my car, drove until 12, and did it all over again.
And but it's not forever. It's a short time. But you have to
like
hit your number. Hit your number. Whatever the number is, boom, there you go.
And I was working like a dog. And people were throwing parties back in my apartment that I would come home to and go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up and keep going. It was a great time to be alive while doing college
for
online.
For like a 19, 20-year-old?
I was fresh out of high school.
Heck yeah. Gentlemen, we've come down to, I could talk forever. We could literally make a full 3-hour Joe Rogan episode. But we've come to the end of the show where we get to talk about all sorts of fun things in our lightning round. Everyone talks about buying a house and putting some sweat equity in. If there was one fix of $1,000 or less that people could do to their house to increase the value, what would it be?
This is really, really basic. I would paint the front door a cool color. I would probably paint the exterior like a sage green or a dark blue or something. I would get new address, like the trendy, thinner address lines with a wood background, and paint the trim. That's what I would do. Completely changes the whole appearance of the house, and that's gonna pop on like Zillow, Redfin, etc.
So you're basically saying like paint the brick. Get the gutters going.
So like put some lipstick on a page.
So that was more than 1,000, but just the address.
No, I don't think you'd spend more than 1,000 doing that.
Yeah, maybe the whole exterior of the home, but like
just the front, not more than 1,000.
Right.
No shot.
Use some elbow grease too.
Get some freaking paint brushes.
Max, what would you do?
I would go inward kitchen and primary bath cell, and so kitchen cabinets, paint them something that isn't the color brown. It can be whatever color you want, just not brown. I'm not going to say white cabinets because it's 2025 and those are out. You should be something like a nice sagey green or a moody color. Change your sink from the old the silver into a nice newer, very functional black hardware, maybe gold hardware could be. And if you can squeeze it, if you can shake it, get some LED lighting in there and get rid of the boob lights.
Oh, the boob lights.
The boob lights are so out. You walk through it.
I got double boob lights in my house.
Oh, we got to upgrade you.
There's the flat LED ones. They just wire right in.
It's very easy.
Like $50.
Very minimal cost. Right. We can get you a handyman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can do it myself, dude. Yeah. Come on.
I'll send you a YouTube video.
Not,
3 hours later.
No, I'm actually like semi-handy, especially when I send pictures to ChatGPT and ask like, how do you wire this thing? Like, this is also not advised. Do not do that. Do not use ChatGPT
at the bottom.
as your
ChatGPT can be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, right. Out of you two, who's the better negotiator?
Max has a better grasp of numbers. I think really slowly. So if it's in the heat of the moment, I don't want to negotiate salaries or complex seller financing terms. Like I will need to take some serious time. We've never done a deal across the table, but I'll let Max. I'll give Max like the numbers and like logistical.
You don't want to argue with someone with the numbers.
I think my strength is more convincing people on the relational side. I think I'm pretty good at doing that for clients and getting the other agents to get on our side.
You'll stand firm and not care. Like you'll stand firm and know that you should stand firm. I'll probably waver and be like, well, if you're going to stand firm, we can go around about it like this.
Oh, there it is right there. He just gave it up. He conceded. Tyler's a better negotiator.
Right. I'll give it to him.
There we go. What's the weirdest thing you found on a walkthrough?
A homeless guy sleeping in the closet, which I thought was where it ended. Just that, right? I'm like going through, doing a walkthrough video for a contractor to scope out the work.
We need that video.
Pop open the door, boom, there somebody is. I'm like, oh, whoa, he didn't move. I'm not going to test the waters. Shut the door. I go upstairs, guy in the bathroom, passed out as well. Come around the corner, guys coming up the stairs scares the ever living crap out of me. It was just hoarded with squatters. But when you walk in at face value, there was nobody who was vacant. But as I kept getting deeper into the house, there was a total of 4 people just in there.
I would have given it up. I would not be an agent anymore.
Yeah, it was pretty freaky.
I'm out.
So I
Did they
actually
say
do
anything
have
to you?
one.
Wait, did they say anything to you?
Equivalent to zombie like I mean, we're talking needles all over the place. And it was a bad situation.
And this was Max's first house on the farm.
That was my first listing.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah, we walked into a little rougher neighborhood, and there was this old guy, gentleman, watching TV, and next to him was a shotgun. I did not want to walk into this unit. It was a rental unit. He was renting it, and he was a tenant. And there's I don't know if it's loaded or not. So like that was my heart was pounding pretty.
Shotgun?
It was like very close to his recliner. Like he
Through
could
the
within
window?
reaching distance. Like this guy just locked and loaded watching TV. I was very scared.
Why are you so sweaty? Watching Cobb. Wow.
That was mine.
Did you go in?
Yes, the guy with me actually, he works with Max more, but he had a weapon and does a lot of this type of real estate in these types of areas. So he was very comfortable. I was not.
I would not be. Yeah, good for you guys.
Yeah.
How often are you guys checking like Zillow? Like when you drive past a cool house, you're like, I wonder how much that is. How long are you getting on it?
My wife much more than me. She Zillow shops a lot more than me. I stick to what I am looking for myself. I'm always kind of looking for something and ready to pounce. Like a quadruple duplex, I know always what's on the market. Most of them are terrible prices and there's not many. But like if there's a good quadruple duplex on the market, I'm gonna know.
Yeah, I am completely Zillow shopper. I drive past, probably look up 5 or 6 houses a day. And my wife, the most annoying thing that I can possibly do, she's gotten really good at it. I'm like, oh, go find that one. She's like, it's not on the market. I'm like, check the pending. I just want to know what it sold for. And she's zooming in on the map.
There
trying
we
to find
go.
It.
I love
Copilot.
it. Gentlemen, we've come to the part of the show where I ask the same 3 questions to every guest who comes on. First question, we're going to start with Max. What's something the world needs to know about Indiana?
I think the world needs to get a grasp around how much we can punch above our weight class and just how jam-packed and rallied up this city is right now. We just got to see a historic playoff run in the Pacers. Ended in such a tragic way, and all of our hearts are broken, and so is everybody across the nation. Seemingly, everyone wanted us to win that game as Tyrese pops off, locked and loaded to go. You know how those games start. 9 points in the first few minutes. He was going off. That was a 30 and 20 game for sure. That is just at the helm of what the city has done to bring this sports marketing alive. It's all bled through sports. And everybody is excited to live here. And the quality of life's amazing.
Tyler, what's something the world needs to know about Indiana?
So my brother just moved to New York City, and like people will ask him, where is Indiana? Like, is that a state? Is that a city? People don't know it actually exists because he just moved to Manhattan. So what it is lacking.
He'll be back.
I think it's the fact that it is a flyover state and not many people expect it to be great, but it's the relationships. So they say you're a 1 call town, 2 call town. So basically you call one person and they're going to have your connection to who you need to know.
Yeah.
And that's so true. I mean, if you're trying to meet top entrepreneurs in the city or people like Nate, like just hit them up on Instagram and you can. That is not like, I'm just using it as an example. Like that is not the norm around the country. People will blow you off like you're nothing. And that's not the case here.
Amen. I agreed. So many people, like when I was coming up to, like gave me the time of day, took coffees when they didn't need to, didn't have to, were way too busy. So
Who's your hospitality?
Shout out to y'all. You're real. This is the question, gentlemen, where we get to shed some love to something that maybe not enough Hoosiers know about. Tyler, what is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Dorman Street.
Yeah.
Has this been mentioned on this podcast?
I don't think so.
I'm going to go Dorman Street. The first time so it's this old house that was at some point probably in like the 1940s converted into a little pub. You can walk there from Mass Ave. So if you're kind of walking off, a boozy night and you want a nightcap, it is the perfect spot. They actually sell cigarettes in this little
thingy-majigger. The thing is, like, I remember about Dorman Street was like there were so many people smoking cigarettes.
So it's just that place where you grab a domestic and light a dart. But it's a friendly. I mean, it is.
Respect to you guys.
But it's a good vibe.
Dorman Street Pub. That's a good one. Max, what's a hidden gem in Indiana?
The time capsule in Danville, Indiana, which is the movie theater right on the square.
Wait, it's literally called the time capsule?
No, it's not. It should be. It should be. It's just a Royal.
A Royal movie theater?
Just a Royal movie theater.
Okay.
But it's like stepping back into time when you walk in there. It's still got the red cushy seats, the best smelling popcorn. Like I think this machine makes better popcorn than anything in New Age. It's got the
Seasoned a little
old
bit.
photo, like the photo boost in there, and yeah, it's amazing. You have to catch a movie there. The movies seemingly are better. Popcorn tastes better. Soda is more bubbly. It's just amazing.
There we go. I love it. The movie theater in Danville, baby. Final, gentlemen, this is how we get new recommendations for guests and learn about Hoosiers that are doing cool things. So who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar? Someone who's doing big things.
Shout out your dad. I know he's already been on the show, Scott Lingle. I love.
Dude, he came on early on in the
Very
show.
early.
Like early on in their existence too.
I love what they're doing with High School Hustle and that program. I love being able to be involved in it. I coach swimming in the winter at Danville, and then getting to engage in the school in Avon with entrepreneurs coming up. I think High School Hustle is amazing. And what the listeners need to know and how to engage with that is not volunteering and helping somebody start up. It is the next time you need something pressure washed, go into highschoolhustle.com or at .org, whatever it is, and hiring a high schooler to come do the job. Like any sweaty side hustle type activity, that's the best way to engage and give back there.
Absolutely. I had the guys come out and detail my car. They crushed. They did such a good job. Like, it was unreal.
Window
Super
washing,
cool.
they got the whole nine goods. Yeah.
Oh, the baked goods. I got to check that out. Tyler, who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar? Someone who's doing big things.
Addison Newell. Do you know Addison?
I've heard his name, I think, at one of the master classes before.
So he has this big mission to bring 1,000 people and 1,000 businesses to the Near East Side. And he has this like map etched out from like Arlington Street to State Street, 16th to Washington. And he's buying, I can say this now because they closed in the building. He bought the Needhammer building.
Yes, I just saw this post on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And he's making it co-working, and I would put money on that guy. I think he's doing really big things, and I'm excited in such an altruistic way. So I'm excited to see what he continues to do.
I love it. Addison, keep up the good work, man. 1,000 jobs and 1,000 people to the Near East Side of Indianapolis.
Yeah, we're about to drop our podcast with him and go through how he purchased that building. And
yeah. Well, awesome. I guess then in that vein, if people want to connect with you guys, they want to connect with Roots, they want to explore what it's like to buy a house with y'all, how do they do that?
Rootsrealty.co. I mean,
we have happy hours and events every month. People can easily get plugged in. And like you'll run into guys like Nate Spangle or Scott Lingle, whoever. I'm just shouting at my dad because you just mentioned him. Addison Newell, so they should come to our events.
You don't have to be like a diehard real estate guy.
No.
There's like a lot of people that are like on the sideline, like looking to jump in and like learn more.
Just have a story on like, here's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah.
And people will get you plugged in.
Amen. Like I've been to a bunch of those, at least like 2 or 3. It's always a good time. Come drink a couple beers, hang out, meet some cool people. Love it. How can they find you guys?
Max Moore on Instagram and anywhere else.
Yeah, at this point, it's 2025. People shouldn't have to look very hard to like find people on social, but
yeah, Tyler_Lingle. And there's gonna be someone who's like, I know I should put the steps in front of me. Reach out to one of us and like get on the phone. We're not gonna shove houses down your throat and be like we will set a plan and talk strategy.
I will say like Roots is a partner of ours here at Get In, and one piece that I always appreciated was that like I met Tyler at a run club. Oh my gosh, I first met you through your podcast, but like nowhere throughout the process were they ever like, oh my gosh, like you can't hang out with us unless you buy a house from me. And like it was never
dorky.
Yeah, it was never like you'd be surprised. I've been in so many more like transactional relationships or whatever where like if you're not buying something from them or you're not doing it, like then they don't want to hang out with you anymore. And that was not the case here. So it was like we dated for a long time before we started working together. So I appreciate you guys. It's awesome to have you as partners. We also have getindiana.com/real estate. You can find out more information about them as well. So plenty of ways to figure it out. Just go figure it out. Gents, thank you for coming on. It was awesome to hear your story, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of Get In. If you like what you heard, make sure you leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is made possible by our friends up at Sweetwater. Whether you're looking to start a podcast or take your content to the next level, click the link in the description to see all of my gear recommendations at sweetwater.com. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at everything we're doing across the state, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nate Spangle. Thank you so much for listening and being part of what makes the Hoosier State great. We'll see you next time here on Get In.